Sausages are starting to brown up. Got smoke in my eyes.
So are your legs.
Yeah.
Legs are browning up.
I swear to God, I'm going to get like sunburn. I'm going to need some aloe vera for my legs, I reckon. Righto guys, dinner time. And we're going to do a nice red wine and Italian sausage pappardelle. The easy way. You don't need to worry about getting your cookbooks out or anything like that. Just 5 ingredients I think I can see on this table. We've got some nice Italian sausages, onion, garlic, red wine, and some passata, and that's it. If you've got an hour, you can cook this. So let's get into it, eh? So what we've started off with is a whole brown onion, and I've just roughly diced that up. So you want to dice your onion up, some garlic. You can use cloves and chop it up, but the cold press stuff that you get from the shop, that's easy enough to use. Italian sausages. I've gone down to my local butcher and got some really nice Italian sausages. They're gonna come up really well. Some red wine. I find a nice sweet red wine is what I prefer to drink. So whatever you want to drink, basically, is what you use to cook with. And got some passata, which is just some tomato puree. And then at the end of it, once it's all simmered down for a while, I'm just going to top it up with some fresh basil, and that'll just give it a nice bit of a herby flavour.
Makes me feel like you do when no one sets my body on fire, and no one gives me shivers like you.
Just got the fry pan heating up over here, some olive oil in it. I'm just going to add the onions now, and we just want to just sort of saute them off. We're just going to slightly brown them up, and yeah, a couple of minutes. Now just going to add a bit of garlic in, personal preference, but I reckon about that much. What's that? Probably a quarter of the tube. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the skin open, and then I'm just going to use the sausage meat in it, and I'm just going to break them into little meatball sized chunks. So what we want to do now is we just want to try and brown the sausages. They're going to cook in the sauce anyway, so we're just going to try and sear them off before we introduce the wine.
I hope you guys can notice his legs are getting burnt.
I'm getting sunburned at night time. So that's starting to look really good now. Sausages are starting to brown up. But what we're going to do now is I'm going to start to introduce the wine, because you want to cook the alcohol off it anyway. So I'm going to put a bit, probably about a cup. So we're just going to pour that over now. And then a cup for the cook as well, because who doesn't like having a bit of a wine when they're cooking anyway? Smell the wine cooking off it now. It's starting to smell really good. So the last bit for the sauce that we're going to put in is we're going to put the jar of passata in. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put a little bit of water in the jar, get the last little bit of the sauce out, plus it sort of waters it down a little bit. Not much, but I don't know really. I watch my mum do it, and I don't know.
Gordon Ramsay does it, so.
And basically we can just let that sit now for an hour and go have a couple more sippy cups, and yeah, go from there.
Sets my body on fire, and no one gives me shivers like you.
Pasta's been on for probably about 35 minutes, I reckon, just sitting there simmering away. So I'm just going to add the pappardelle now. I've just got the free-range egg pappardelle, and I'm just going to add it to the hot water. The water's been boiling. As As you seen earlier, I've chucked some salt in there. And I'm just going to whack the lid back on and let that come back up to boil again. Right guys, now that pasta should take probably about another 8 to 10 minutes. I'm just going to stir the sauce and just keep an eye on it, but yeah, everything seems to be going well. So now I'm just going to take it off the heat because it's done its job. And I'm going to start to add the basil. Don't go silly with it. The reasoning why I've added it at the end is because I don't want to cook it right out. I still want it to taste, you know, I want to be able to taste the basil and that in it. I want it to be a bit herby and red and green. It's a nice colour. To see how thick that has just come over the fire, you know. So now I'm just going to let that there. I'm going to drain the pasta and then I'm going to add the sauce into the pot. Righto, there you have it. Red wine and Italian sausage pappardelle, cooked over the fire at camp. Can't get any easier. I mean, if it was any harder, then I wouldn't cook it. But give it a try. Let me know how you like it. Cheers, guys.
Getting too much, but I can't pull back. Though I try to resist, I can't fight this.